This brand, a lot of people think, oh man, it's about selling this. When we started it, my simple philosophy was one thing. Had nothing to do with selling another shoe. Got a job, perfect job, you love it. I said, what? Nike. This is 1981. I said, Nike? What you talking about? Nike, you would love it. Okay. I don't really know what they talking about, and here I am. I'm showing their mind, they don't know who it is. They just got this guy, played at Maryland, he's a coach at Maryland. So I doubt if they knew that they were probably getting this evangelist. Just put basketball on your card. Just put HY basketball and just do your thing. Okay. And as we're going along, MJ comes and CB comes along, David Robinson, all the guys. Maybe there was a greater plan than I could see.
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach cap, pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach cap, pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
There he is.
What's up, boy? What's up with you, baby boy?
Yes, sir. You looking clean too.
Man, I'm glad to be here.
You know, I knew you were gonna have the white pocket square too, though. I knew that. I knew the white pocket square was coming.
You know, just a little hint of that.
Just a little something.
Just a little something. You know, you can always tell a gentleman. You know, they got a little pocket square on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, welcome to The Pivot. We're extremely excited to have Howard H. White. This is the godfather of the Jordan brand. This is Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder. I'm Ryan Clark. Pivot family, thank you for pivoting with us. Man, it was just in learning about you throughout the history of this brand. It's truly refreshing to see someone who has reached the heights that you have, but still the foundation of that young man that grew up in Virginia. So I want to ask you, what does the saying, even a dog can wag its tail when it walks by you, how did that come about? Why did your mother tell you that? How did it change the way the person was the rest of your life?
I mean, that's quite an interesting analogy, because that was 8, 9, I don't know how old I was, but we were walking down the street and we lived on Pembroke, which was kind of a 4-lane highway, and we turned, go down Calhoun. Saturday morning, and what was amazing, I was throwing rocks at the stop sign. See, very few people know this. If you hit the stop sign dead in the middle, the 0, cow jumps over the moon. So see, a lot of people don't know that. That's why you don't see it that often. And Mr. Lee was coming. Mr. Lee had this huge limp, and as he walked by down south, hey, Miss Lillian, how you doing? Hey, Lee, how you today? I'm beautiful. You have a great day, you hear? I might have nodded, but I'm trying to hit the 0 dead in the middle. You see Mr. Lee 50 times a day. When we got by Mr. Lee, she stopped me. She said, you saw Lee the same as I did. You didn't open your mouth to speak. You let that be the last time in your life you ever walk by someone and not open your mouth to speak. Because even a dog can wag its tail when it passes you on the street. And I can't tell you why, but that changed my entire outlook in life. I've been around some of the greatest athletes on the planet, some of them billionaires, but that little piece of advice has carried my life.
So go deeper into that. What is it? Just people being pleasant, you know what I'm saying? How did that change your life?
You know, I think what that told me was that everybody's the same. So regardless of what you think, Mr. Lee limping down the street, regardless of what you think, what you see, every single person is the same, and they deserve your respect. So when my old man left, when Dad left and we had nowhere to go, we moved out into the woods with my aunt. And that's traumatic. But we're in the middle of the woods. Ain't nobody to play with. You left all your friends. Ain't but trees around. Some few other people, but they old people. I mean, it's it. It's over. And my mother wouldn't let me. So I met this coach, and I'm sure you'll get into Coach Hathaway. I couldn't play basketball. I was in 8th grade. Yeah, I was at an all-black school, White's Thomas. We moved down there. I was still catching the bus, walk all the way out to a bus stop, catch a bus across town. And two of my friends, Carlton Mann and Terry Prescott, they rode their bicycles down. They said, "Oh, they let you play basketball at that new school." Now, once you got through the woods and them few houses, then that was all white. I never saw this sign, but the sign said, as they told me, if you're here when the sun go down, you won't see it come up.
And those were called, at that time, Jim Crow South, those were called sundown towns, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I never saw the sign, so who knows? Somebody, one of the girls, Patricia Corvette, she said, "Oh, you're my dad," because he was a professor at Hampton. "Oh yeah, he showed me that there." I never saw it. So I don't know if it was an old wives' tale, but you didn't stay down there after it got dark. That did know that.
Knew the rule.
And when she said, "Well, you can go, but just get back before it's dark." When we went down and we walked in, well, no kids in that gym, first of all. Not one. It was 3 white men. Afterwards, you found out one was the head coach and the other one was a guy, was the assistant coach and the assistant principal shooting around. So here we walk in. First, I don't think we belong in here. I don't see no kids in here. These 3 white men. This school, we ain't supposed to be in here. So I'm like, we might need to get, I didn't know that this was the beginning of integration, that Terry and Carlton was at that school. To me, this was a foreign place in which we shouldn't be in. And they said, "Hey, you boys want to play a game?" I didn't play basketball, but I did look like they were old people. And since they were old people, you know, you can beat old people. They shouldn't even be out there.
Right.
We'll play. They changed the rules. Whenever I played, what happened, when you get the ball, you can shoot it back up. Wherever you got the ball, you shot it. These people changed the rule. No, son, you got to take the ball back behind the line. No, son, the ball got to go back here. No, son, the ball need to be. No, son, the way people play today, you got to take it back. They beat us to death. I walked off. I stopped to get some water. This man walked up to me. "How you doing, son? My name is Jim Hathaway. I'm the coach at Kickertan High, Howard White." He said, "You ever heard of the big old Oscar Robertson?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "If you listen to everything I tell you, you could be just like the big O." Here's another lie. This man gonna tell me I could be like the big O. I can't even play basketball. I did find this out. Sometimes a lot of people smarter than you. And I tell people all the time, I was just dumb enough to listen to people that saw more in me than I could see in myself. I went home, I was in the woods, I chopped some trees down, then I went along the ditch, because it was like this 2-lane road, went along the ditch, found soda bottles. You know, you're down there, throw soda bottles out the window, took them, cashed them in, went to Western Auto. I bought me a basketball and a goal. Went, had some plywood, dug some holes, nailed it up. I played a lot of basketball by myself. And it literally the worst situation of my life, moving to the woods, became the greatest moment in my life. I wanted to go to this new school. I think that girl told me, I think Dario said that she was gonna be there. So I kept asking Mama, could I go? She said, "No, you're going right back to the same school your brothers and sisters went to. That's where you'll be going." I said, "Nope, you'll be going right back to the same," which was all the way across town. This school was like, not that far down the street. My sister came to my rescue, probably why I had to keep giving her money, because she came to my rescue and said, "Mama, school is about education. If the boy want to go, you should let him go." I remember she said, "You children gonna be the death of me yet." Lord bless you. "Go, boy, you can go." The girl won't dare. Matter of fact, it won't put 3 blacks in the whole school. I ain't know the other 2, so actually it was just me. And I called the girl when I got home. I said, "Hey, where were you today?" She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I didn't see you at school." She said, I was at school. I remember it was 3. I said, no, you weren't at school. No, I was at school. I said, you were not at school. She said, I told you where to go. I'm at Thorpe. Where? I'm at Thorpe. I said, no. You didn't tell me you were going to Thorpe. You said you were going to Sims. She said, oh, you know what? We might have had that discussion once with my mother. I'm like, but that's a heck of a time to tell me.
Hey, you can't be chasing that. You can't be chasing tail. I have a question though. How do you go? So even when we were checking in, right? I get to the front. I say, hey, I'm here, Mr. Howard White. We know we're doing all the check. Everybody calls you H. So you get the conversation with Coach Hathaway about the big O, and then you become H. In my opinion, the most prolific college jersey of all time to just have an H. How did you get to that point, to where that is what you were known by?
Well, because I became pretty good. And again, the driving force was literally, if you listen, you could be just like the big O. And, you know, people had offered money and cars and this to go, and I said, no. And finally, I chose Maryland. And I said, hey, you know what? I just want an H on the back of my jersey. And they said, what? Just an H, that's all I want. H in quotations. And Lefty had just come there. So I'm sure in his mind, that's a pretty good publicity thing right there. Let's do that. So he talked to the PR guy, Russ Potts. Hey, that could be cool. Let's do that. So I was H. I mean, probably the only one ever to have that. I know in college, this single letter. Now in pro, there was one, Big E. Alvin had that in the pros, but in college, the only one ever to have that. And it just stuck. Everybody, and I love playing away games because that was like, oh, you ain't supposed to be that good. And then,
Get them up.
I'm pretty good. That's it, but you know, some say so, some say no. I ain't bad. But that, it stuck. It's one of those things that it just stuck. And my middle name is Lee. Don't nobody know that because they always say H.
Yeah.
So here's the question, I think a lot of the question for your audience. Are we who we believe we are? Or who you see yourself being? And most people, their whole world is filled with, oh, you shouldn't be that, or you can't be that, or oh, these people are racist. Oh, don't go over here, don't do that. I've never seen the world like that. My mom's worked for a family that owned a marina. So on a Saturday or a Friday, they have a pot, I would go. So me and their kids, David, Nancy, Sal, we sit down, eat together, joke, have games. I get some hand-me-downs, do the old bicycle. But what it's told me was, they ain't no different than me. They're the exact same. We laugh together, we have fun, the exact same. So remember, I'm at the all-white school. Ain't no girl there. I know I can't go home and say, Mama, you can't get an education there. I made a mistake. That was out. But I got to play basketball. I wasn't no good, and they weren't no good, so I got to play. Yeah. And voted the most popular boy in class. That did not happen in the 60s down there, because it was all white. Yeah. That did not happen. Yeah. And so I said, well, how could that happen? Even a dog can wag his tail when it passes you on the street. Finally got to where that coach was. If you listen, that first year probably wasn't that good, but I started. Worked hard, and I became better and better and better. Then I become an All-American. I go to New York City to Sid Fine's All-American Camping Clinic, New York City. The scariest place you ever been. Those yellow cars gonna kill you if you try to walk across the road. The building's so tall you can't see the sun. Out of place. We finally going to the gym. Those kids dunking. They spinning in the air dunking, throwing it up off the backboard, spinning, dunking. So we don't belong in here. It was me, two of my other teammates. And my high school coach, Coach Hathaway, he says, the man asked him, your country boys don't see much like this, do you? He bowed his head. He was, what he gonna say? Mm-hmm. He's scared too. Then I noticed something. That rim was about the same size as that rim I built in my backyard. Same size. The court might have been bigger, but the rim was same size, same height, the same everything. And one day someone told me this. It was dark, and I was getting ready to go in. Said, you quitting? I said, I can't see nothing. So you're gonna just, I can't see. He said, you know it's still light in California. I said, it can't be light in California, it's dark here. Son, I can only tell you the truth. So every night I had to go out because the California people found a way to cheat. I don't know how they did it.
They got to play later today.
Yeah, they found a way to cheat. I said, dang, I might run into them California people one day and I better be ready. When we got in that gym in New York, I looked and said, I don't know who here from California, but I've been getting ready for you. Mm. And when I left that gym as MVP, my coach said, and I guess you all don't see much like this, do you?
Mm. Tables had turned.
Tables had turned. So that's kind of life. What do you see? Everybody sees something. And now, y'all play pro ball. Guess what? What people see and what people are willing to work for are two different things. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I did not know this until I talked to Coach just the other day. He said, you know what? I heard something. Then I figured out why you became so good. He said, I've told people things. I ain't never had this kind of results. He said, but I figured it out. I said, what'd you figure out, Coach? He said, I couldn't put two and two together before. I have now. I said, what? You obsessive. Mm. Everything you've ever done, I took for granted when you came over with Tiffany, your Doberman, and whatever you said, you pointed a finger, and she, boom, you did this, snap her. He said, I was like, I never seen a dog like this. And then it hit me. Damn. He trained that dog? And the only reason I had the Doberman was one of my boys, old Cotton, came over one day. He said, he had a Doberman, he had his dog, Duchess. He said, Duchess, sit. Duchess, sit. I said, that is amazing. She just sat right down. He said, yeah. I said, really? Let me know when you have a puppy. About 7 or 8 years later, he called. He said, Duchess had puppies. I said, really? Now, I'm living in efficiency, but I know I went down there to get a puppy, and I picked the one that she wouldn't get in all the food. She's staying. I said, that's her right. That's Tiffany. Man, we get up at 4:30 in the morning. We go out and train. We up late at night, go out and train. Because my whole goal was when I said sit, that she would sit, because I saw Duchess sit. She became a CD, CDX, because I was obsessed with she would sit just like Duchess. And I saw Wink, he said, shit, Duchess ain't never been this trained. So you take things to the levels that, unbeknownst to you, it makes things happen. Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't make sense, though, if, well, why were you getting a hamburger when you supposed to be meeting with Michael Jordan?
You know what? Because my guy, old Smitty, David Smith, who was a lawyer in D.C., and he was here. He said, hey, let's go to this. We'll go to this restaurant, get a burger. I said, man, I ain't Michael Jordan coming in town. Oh, we'll be right back. It's right around the corner. I said, man, Smitty, Michael Jordan gonna be in town. Man, it's right around the corner. I said, all right, we got time. First of all, it was not right around the corner. That thing all the way out 26, all in the boondocks. I'm like, Smith, this ain't around the corner. Oh, you'll love it. We'll be out of here in a jiffy. The hamburger's about this big. And I said, man, we got to go. So I don't know if I was late, MJ was early, but I do know they were there when I got back. Here's what's very interesting. And I know Pop said that the only black guy in the room and he late. There ain't no hope for us. Just maybe there's something bigger at play than we even know. Spending the last 2 years with your pops, you couldn't have forecast that. It just happened.
Yeah.
Me being, guess what? All of a sudden, we all became family. You know, I stay at his house when I go, he stay at my little house when he come to DC. Moms were just out here a few weeks ago. Family. Just maybe that happening was a part of the plan that I couldn't see.
Yeah.
See, I'm one of those people that things happen for a reason. So was that one of those things that happened unbeknownst to me? It was supposed to happen. Big Mo, who was my guy.
Moses Malone.
When I recruited Mo, Mo was like, I mean, I tell you how good Moses was. Mo averaged 35 points a game, 25 rebounds a game, and 12 block shots a game.
He was the team.
Who was he playing against, H?
Whoever he played against, that's what he did. Even when he played like in the All-Star, he dominated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mo was, I mean, he was amazing. When I knew he was amazing, I went down to recruit him, and everybody was there. I mean, coaches from everywhere, the assistant coach, head coaches. Somebody would say, I saw Moses. Then all the coaches running out of the hotels to find, I'm like, really? They all were, so I went by the house one day, met his mother. She came, she had just finished work, Mary Malone. So I came, knocked on the door. Hey, how you doing? I said, hey, Miss Malone, Howard White. She said, oh, she called him Tiny. She said, well, Tiny not here now. I said, oh, okay, no problem. I just thought I'd run by. She said, well, come on in. Now, down south, you know, she had just got off work, Fred. So you know what they do, they're watching stories. Mm-hmm. They got those
stories.
And they got the stories on. She got to catch up on my stories.
Yeah.
All right, I just got in town. She watching stories. I'm asleep. She sleep. About an hour. Oh God, I went to sleep. I said, oh, don't worry. I went to sleep too. I'm gonna tell Tiny you came by here. I said, yes, ma'am, no problem. The next time I go, well, I told him he not here now. He was never home. Then eventually, Tiny was home. Me and Murray become just like that.
She had told so many stories about you.
Man, I go, hey, we're going to the mousetrap. Then, okay, I'm going, I'll be with you, you and your girls, boom, boom, had a ball. Then Big Mo, then we become like this. And I remember we sitting on the porch one day and he said, Howard, I said, yeah, Mo, you guys were by here last night. I said, really? The pro guys, he said, they had a suitcase full of money. They said, if you take this, you sign this, you can take that money. I said, you didn't sign that, did you, Mo? He said, no, how I didn't sign it. I said, okay. I said, whatever we do, you know, it's a right way and a wrong way to do it. He said, no, I didn't sign it, Howard. I said, okay. Then boom, 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 later, and he came to Maryland. Spent the whole summer there playing at Melvin's Crab House, the league, and he had a ball. Then they drafted him, Utah Jazz. We went down, spent some time with the agents, and he told me afterwards, he said, I think if I don't do this, something bad will happen to me. I said, what do you mean? He said, I wrote down and put in my Bible, I wanted to be the first player to go from high school to the pros. So I think that was a promise to God. And if I don't do this, something bad will happen.
Wow.
I said, Mo, you got to go then. I mean, you be all right, go. And he went. When I got this job, first person that was here, he just signed with Nike. It's Moses Malone. See, we often think things just happen.
Yeah.
Do they?
H, you speak about, you said basketball or sneakers doesn't define you. You're a believer in people. Basketball was just a vehicle. You also speak about the teachers who believed in you before you believed in yourself. Could you, kind of looking back, how much of your success can you contribute to someone simply saying, I believe in you, and how the power of encouragement push you to all of this?
Fred, all of it. Let's get that out of the way. All of it. I haven't done anything. But I was crazy enough to listen to people who said this was possible. Mm-hmm. I was held back in the second grade. Now, come on, you can't be held back in the second grade. What they want, some ABCs, count to 100?
Could spell your name.
Exactly. How you gonna keep me back in the second grade? And obviously my mama went along with it, and here I am repeating the second grade, which is almost embarrassing, because I'm a genius. So how they gonna keep me back?
But you talk about timing. If it didn't happen,
timing is everything, Fred. Timing is everything.
Right.
That teacher, the next teacher, Miss Vaughn, she said, you know all of this. All you have to do is apply it. Wow. She believed in me. When I got married, I went back, took my wife and daughter to meet her. And she told, when we was leaving, she told Donna, she said, you have one of Hampton's finest. Make sure you take care of him. Mm. I didn't know Miss Vaughn never thought like that. Was she watching him? I don't know. Coach Hathaway. Told you, I just talked to him the other day. If you listen, you can be just like the Big O. When I got to the 9th grade, there was a teacher, Nancy Newstep. Nancy said, you are a great writer. I take your papers home and me and my mother read them every night. Nancy was probably lying, but I believed I was a great writer. Now I've written books, I've written film scripts, I've written, because of Nancy. When I first did a book, I thought, I think everybody should do a book. I wanted to do a blueprint of me for my daughter. And Mark Vanzer, who did MJ's very first book. So I went to Vanny, I said, Vanny, I'm gonna write a book. He said, really? I said, yep, that's about what? I don't know, just life, I'm just gonna write a book. He said, okay, you write it, and I'll find you somebody to be a ghostwriter. I said, okay, all right. So I wrote the book, spent a lot of time. After I did it, he said, oh, that's good, let me send it to this woman. And she said, they write like a chapter or two, which was good. It's called The Book of Possibilities. My wife read it, and she said, that's pretty good, but it's not you. This is somebody interpreting what you think you want to say, what she thinks you want to say. You know what I did? Nancy said I was a great writer. Let me write my own book. There was a woman, here's the dark way. I was on a plane going to Atlanta. There's a woman sat beside me, and she said, what you doing? I said, I'm working on a manuscript. So can I see it? Sure. She read that from here to Atlanta. Then she said, you know, I got my degree in this and that, but I also got a degree in English. Let me send it to me. I just want to edit it some. Okay, and I did. Then I gave it to Coach Ravlin. George Ravlin was a voracious, you talking about reader. He was an assistant coach at Maryland. Ravlin had like newspapers stacked to the ceiling. I said, ain't no way he reading all of this stuff. He got stacked to the ceiling. So I knew Rav liked it. I said, Rav, read this. This is the book and work. He said, really? He said, okay. He called me back that Monday. He said, Dee saw it. I said, what'd she say? She said, well, is this true? She said, well, H gave it to him and says, like, I want to help. So I got a white woman from all the way down there in Tennessee, black woman in LA that had grown up in St. Louis, both of them working together to do an H. White book. Incredible. Because the woman said, if you listen to me, you're a great writer. Okay. So my entire life, I speak, not because I think I'm any good at speaking, but in my 410 leadership class was Dr. Charlotte Leedy. Dr. Charlotte Leedy asked me to stay after class one day. I'm thinking, did I do my work? I swear I turned that paper in. What you want with me? I sit down. She said, what do you want from this class? I said, if you're giving A's out, that'd be good. I'd take one. She
I'd
said,
take one.
No, you should be wanting to learn. I said, yes, ma'am, and that too. She said, I've only known 2 people that could command the attention of an entire room. Who were they? Bill Cosby. She said, I taught him, I was at Temple, and Howard White. I said, who are you talking about? She said, you. She said, well, here's the difference. Bill Cosby's from the city, from Philly. When he speaks, everybody knows what he's talking about. Howard White is from the South, Hampton. You got that Southern dialect. When you talk, I don't know what you talking about half the time. Like, she wrote a name down. Call that number. Tell her I told you to call. At first, I threw that thing in the trash can. I'm like, I don't know what she talking about either. Who she thinks she is? Then I went back and get it. Simple. I called that number, ask, as, at, how to enunciate and pronunciate the King's English. I took Dr. Leedy to lunch when I graduated to thank her. After I wrote my book, I kept calling around to see if anybody knew her. Boom, boom. So one went, oh yeah, Charlotte, I think she's Georgia. I think I might have a number for her. She gave me the number. I kept calling, never got anybody. She had this rhapsody voice. And one day, she picked up, hello? I said, Dr. Leedy. She said, yes, who am I speaking with? I said, this is a voice from your past. She said, this Eddie? I said, well, no, not that past. You said it was 2. She said, Howard White. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, Howard White, I was just telling a group of students about you just last week. I said, Dr. Leedy, you lied. You have not seen me in 35 years. You were not telling a group of students about me. She said, I was. Tell me what you're doing. Boom, boom, boom. She said, I told you so. I said, you an angel? She said, simply your teacher.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So maybe, and I often ask myself this, and you all haven't played in the league, you can tell me. How many people have told you something and you disregarded it?
Plenty of times.
A lot.
Yeah, they don't know me. What they talking about? Suppose you regard that and say, maybe it's a possibility, I don't know. But then you have the wherewithal to work so hard on what they told you was possible that it's hard to keep you from it.
I have a question about when it seems like failure is coming. Like you think about after, I think it was the Jordan 2, people didn't love it, right? You have designers of the first shoe who are now at Adidas.
Yep.
And Adidas is a main competitor. And this is when you start to develop a relationship with a new designer for the 3, which had to be big because if the 3 ain't fire,
the brand may not be.
Jordan might be with Adidas at some point. Tell me how you went through creating a new creative process between yourself, Mike, and the new designer to create the Jordan 3 that gave us the Jumpman.
Tinker Hatfield, and Tinker and I just like this. And it didn't start off like that. We were down in LA and Tinker had done this. Of course, I don't know them. They had been working on this shoe and this whole time and finally, I think MJ was probably out on the golf course. And he don't know these people. And eventually we got, okay, he comes. We going through and they showing him all of this. And M said, he said, H, what you think? Don't do that much for me, MJ. Yeah, he said, me either. Now, I caught a lot of flack from that. And my boy, he said, now, H, the only one who probably can hurt you is Tinker. He's a little upset. I said, upset about what? He said, well, he's up. I said, well, let me call him. I'll call him. I'll contact him. I called him. I said, Tink, hey, man, this is H. He said, hey. I said, well, what's going on? He said, well, I ain't afraid to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I said, what? We work extraordinarily hard for this, to make this presentation. We work hours and hours and months to make this. Good. Well, how can you just come in and say you don't agree with it? I said, he asked me. He said, well, what do you mean he asked? I said, you sitting there. He asked me, what did I think? He said, yeah, but, I said, what, you want me to lie now? Mm-hmm. He asked me a question. He said, well, are you that important? I said, I don't know that. But he asked me a question, and I told him. He said, well, should we meet with you first? I said, that's on you. All I can tell you is what happened. So Tinker and I got to be the best of friends, because all of a sudden now, he can go to MJ's house, he can go through the garage, he can go through his closets, he can talk to him, he can see all the things that MJ like, don't like. So all of a sudden, an entire world opened up from a disagreement. Mm. Yeah. Oftentimes, we really don't know what someone else is saying, doing, or thinking. So really, what he needed was a bridge. Mm. That's all he needed, was a bridge from his thought process to the guy he actually had to design these for. So there it is.
Oh, to piggyback off that, the story is you was the man. You can get just H put on the back of your jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, to request that from a university is crazy to me. I don't know if it's arrogance or marketing, but it's pretty cool. You could ball. And then you had knee injuries.
Yeah, I did.
And ended your career. Then the thing was like, oh, you didn't care, you just moved on to the next step. It had to be something in there from you playing ball, getting to that level, your knees getting hurt, and, oh, I don't care, that wasn't an obsession of mine, let me move forward. It had to be something that hurt you when you couldn't play ball no more.
Well, a lot of people say that. I know the greatest thing that you've never done, you wanted to be a professional. Man, that had to crush you. Really? Oh, I know it did. Life pretty good now.
Not now.
Yeah. But when you go backwards in time, and I got hurt the first time I was a senior in high school, came down the side of somebody's foot, and of course, they didn't know, tore this up, and they didn't know. They looking at it and doing something. Oh, you okay? But then I found out that if I tied something around my knee, which wouldn't let the cartilage pop out, I just couldn't do my knee all the way. I could do it like this. And so, I kept playing, which was further damaging the knee. Eventually got it operated on. They didn't know what they was doing either. They tore it up, they cut you open, they take out a lot of stuff, they throw stuff away, they sew stuff up, then they put you in a cast for a couple of months, which now we know is probably the worst thing that can ever happen. By the time I got to Maryland, we're not talking about no rehab. So you just put a lot of tape on.
Wow.
And you keep going. And probably the worst thing, I could jump real high. But now you're just jumping off one leg. Mm-hmm. By the time you're a senior, that knee's gone. And I remember I went to the Dr. Stan Levine, like the end of my junior year. We just won the NIT, and then we expected we probably can win the NC2A. And I go to, he said, oh, it'll be fine. Just rest it over the summer. So I rested, come back, practice started. Man, I couldn't even make it to class the next day. I told her, I said, I'm getting operated. Oh, no, you'll be all right. I said, no, I'm not gonna be all right. You're gonna be, I'm not gonna be all right. I'm getting an operation. So I did. I got the operation. Fortunately, a young fella came through, John Lucas. Mm-hmm. Now, JL was an All-American tennis player, All-American basketball player from Durham. So Lefty had asked me about coaching. First he asked me, was I going to redshirt? I said, no, I am out of here. Well, what you plan on doing? I said, I have no idea. but it won't involve this. He said, well, let's think about something. So he named his assistant coach. He said, you can help that young man. You really can help him. Yeah, he a little, but you can help him. So I spent a lot of time with John and Mo Howard and all of them, and things, well, obviously John was the #1 player picked in the draft. Here's the difference. I just played basketball. Remember, I didn't start playing basketball until like the 9th grade. So it wasn't something I longed for my whole life, is to be this. I only started playing because the man said, if you listen to me, when I couldn't play, when I couldn't like jump and do the things I wanted, I said, God must not want me to do that. He already took it off the table once and I wasn't smart enough to listen. Now he's taking it off the table again. He must not want me to do this. So I figured that was the case. He don't want me to do this. He must have something else in store. Yeah. Which I had no idea what that was. You know, the one thing I do have, maybe the greatest patience in the world. So that little part, if he wanted me to do something, it would reveal itself. All I had to do is wait. What am I waiting on? I don't know. But I'm supposed to be waiting. Got out of coaching, got into doing this and that, and one day John Lucas come by. John had been doing some things, and he came back, he said, White. I said, what? Got a job, perfect job, you love it. I said, what? Nike. This is 1981. I said, Nike? What you talking about? Nike, you would love it. He said, Dad, tell him, his wife. He'd love it, wouldn't he? Oh, he would love it. Right. Nike. Okay. Yeah. And I didn't know, but the guy Kenny White was going with his sister Cheryl. And so what we did was really, when he told me, I said, Nike, I'm gonna call that guy. So I'm looking in the telephone book, which a lot of the young people won't know what that means, but that was the residential was the white pages, and then the industrial stuff, business, the yellow pages. I'm looking at the white pages for Kenny White. And then it dawned on me, whoa, okay, maybe Kenny, maybe Ken, could be Kenneth, could be K White. I don't know what I'm looking for. Then it popped up, Kheni, White. I said, that's the guy right there. I don't know who it is. I called the number, and the guy answered. I said, hey, this Kenny? He said, yeah. I don't know. I said, this Howard White. Oh, I heard of you. Luke and, oh, okay. We talking. He said, hey, they're going to give me a going-away party, 507 2nd Street. Why don't you stop down? Cool. So I stopped down. We boom, nice time. I said, why don't you send me a resume? Okay, send him a resume. Probably about a month and a half, he calls. He said, hey, they going in a different direction. Okay, cool. Couple of months later, Cheryl calls me first. She said, you're going to get that job. I said, what are you talking about? You're going to get that job. I know you're going to get it. That later on, now this is after months, Kenny calls and said, when can you start? I said, wow. Well, give me a couple of weeks. He said, okay. And here it is. Here I am at Nike. I don't really know what they're talking about, but boom, I had to come out here, do all of this. That's when Moses hit. I said, Big Mo, what you doing? Man, I told him, this H. White, that's the only one out there had this job. H. White should be having this job. And so my guy there, then John was an NBA player at that time, and all of them. So all the people involved, and here I am. I'm showing their mind, they don't know who it is. They just got this guy, played at Maryland, he was coach at Maryland, boom, these guys are known. So I doubt if they knew that they were probably getting this evangelist. After all those months, maybe there was a greater plan than I could see. And as we're going along, obviously, MJ comes, and CB comes along, David Robinson, all the guys. And then Kenny When he called me on a Sunday morning, he said, hey, Kenny not here anymore. But you can do this. Just put basketball on your card. Just put HY basketball and just do your thing. Okay.
Worked out well.
It worked
out well.
Worked out pretty darn good. So, and guess, if you were going to plot a course out, Fred, could you plot your course out? You could plot it out because it's been pretty darn good. You could plot your course out, but is it the greatest course in the world? Maybe you got somebody else with a compass just a little stronger than yours. And whatever it is, they plotted out. And I just followed the yellow brick road.
Hey, just talk about greatness.
Ooh.
You say you've been around a lot of great people, worked with a lot of great people. We hear the GOAT debates constantly across all sports. Not just basketball, but all sports, right? In that, if we stripped away the rings, we stripped away the wins, what's the one singular attribute that the people that are in those conversations, what does greatness share?
Fred, that's a great question. I think when you start thinking about what does greatness share, and I was thinking about this last night, thinking about it hard. Chris Tuck, he called and said, man, that Michael, you got to see. I said, okay, because they were 10, very close. And so we watched, me and the wife watched, I was watching again, and something hit me that you will find very deep. Now, we know how good, matter of fact, how good he was and how good, and look at what he's done in the theaters. And, you're talking about thrones of people. Mm-hmm. Was it Michael? Well, Joe was a little off the rails now. Mm-hmm. But look how he pushed him. Let's go to another one. Serena and Venus. Mm. Richard was here. He was out here representing the girls. So he came, we had met, then we were having another meeting the next day. Because Aaron had the girls and he had Richard, they came out. Now, we sitting in the conference room. Richard pulls out 2 legs from dummies. He must have been like scouring the streets all night long. And literally he pulls out these 2 legs, the dummies, he set them on the table. And he says, the people that don't sign Venus and Serena, this is the way their opponent's legs gonna look. Because they gonna kill them. And people would say, well, he's crazy. I said, yeah, crazy like a fox. And that dumb, Earl and Tiger. Okay? Now, these are people that have been pushed to the nth degree. They probably, of course they didn't like it. You know that. Would they have been that good had someone that pushed them to over the limit? And then I look at like a MJ. He's different because, even childhood, then he goes to Carolina. Black is so obsessed with the small things. So here's a guy, we literally, this is before he ever wins the championship, we out in the driveway washing his cars. And he says, H, we win this thing this year, I probably quit.
When was this, H?
This before he ever won a championship. Battling with Detroit. He said, yeah, we win, I probably just quit. I said, you give it up? Yeah, that'd be enough. If we win it, got that championship, that'd be enough. I'd probably give it up. Well, obviously that wasn't the truth. We didn't see that. But they can't stop this from working. 3 championships, leaves to play baseball. Lord have mercy, sitting up there in them double headers that night. Oh, Lord. And he would say, I know y'all was asleep up there. No, man. We was watching. No, I bet y'all was asleep. How he went after that. Literally, he changed his entire weight room. into like a baseball workout room. But that's who he is. He's obsessed with whatever that is. 3, okay? And had they not had that strike, I ain't sure he would have left because he knew this is what he could do this. Then they had the strike, he couldn't go in the locker room. Remember? Well, call the jet, we out. Tip the wing as you roll over that stadium, we gone. And when I saw him the way, because he wasn't planning on coming back to play basketball, but I saw how he went after this. Those times that you can't see. When nobody's around, it's just us in the empty gym. He running sprints like a madman. When they got beat, and in my mind, he might say something different. He called me that summer. That's when they were shooting Space Jam. Before that, he said, if I had done my part, I think we could have won. I said, man, it's a team sport. He said, oh, yeah, I know you, but if I had done my part. So he was obsessed that, again, the guy just stopped playing baseball. That he couldn't sit with. Shaq, it was Penny, Nick. And remember Nick said, yeah.
4'5".
Yeah, 4'5". That ain't Air Jordan. That's just Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. Of course, that probably ain't the right one to say it to.
He poked the bear.
That probably is not because in his mind, if it was your mama, Fred, if it was your mama, okay, it's a Sunday game, you know. He got to win. Okay, that's an old lady. What? No, hey, what that got to do with anything? Yeah. His mentality is winning. I cycled, and again, I'm a little obsessed. I got into cycling, so I took bikes wherever I would go. I would travel with a bike, riding miles, 100 miles up. And he had told me before, he said, you know what, H, well, get me a bike. Yeah, get me a bike and some of those pants and stuff. I'm gonna cycle, I'm gonna go cycling. I'm gonna use that to train. Okay, cool. We get there. When we get there, it's about 3 a.m. I go to bed. The wives stay up and look at the sunrise and all that. She comes up and she said, Michael looking for you. I said, what? She said, Michael's looking for you. I said, Michael's looking? You're crazy. She said, he just told me, hey, where were you? I said, it's like 6, what are you talking about? She said, hey. So I go up. I said, Em, what's up, man? You were gonna try to leave me. I said, what? You were gonna try to go riding without me. I know that's what you was gonna do. You were gonna try to leave me. I said, well, man, my bike ain't. Well, go get it together. Put it together. So I go put the bike together. I come back down. And, you know, we got this. Well, I ain't wearing them shorts. So he put some basketball shorts on. Right? It's giant T-shirt. I mean, the wind blowing and the Bears this was with Richard Dent and that whole crew that, you know. So me and Dent had been doing some spinning. So he said, hey, I'm riding these days. I'm riding. He said, let's go riding tomorrow. I'm gonna come out to the house. Said, cool. So he come out, him and Sue, his masseuse. So they come out, we go riding. Beautiful day in Chicago. We get back. He said, MJ, hey, what y'all doing, man? Me and H, I just went 30 miles with H White. We went 30 miles. MJ ain't say nothing. 30 miles, M. That's what we did. Okay. So we walk down in the Y, get the bikes. I said, M, how far are we going? About 10 miles or so, just to get used to it. We're going at least 30 miles. Mm-hmm. I said, but we're going at least 30 miles. Richard Dent was never going to beat him doing anything. We went about 35 or 40 that day. He liked to kill them.
Wasn't even the same sport. They don't even play the same sport.
I'm just saying, whatever he
had to.
His mind, he can't help himself.
And that greatness, H, and you mentioned Serena, you obviously brought up Tiger and being pushed and the different things you get to see. What was it like, your experience being at the 1997 Masters,
Ooh,
to watch
man.
Tiger really accomplish history that's never been touched?
You know, 'cause obviously I didn't know a thing about golf, but I'm go with Phil and all of them. Which was funny. We placed a little golf bet on the plane. I don't know what I'm doing, so I just put some things down, and I win it. I mean, all the other guys, they golfers. I'm like, well, you won. I said, I won. I'm just writing stuff down. But the amazing thing about that, you can thank him, see what he did. We played like table tennis. After the round, we go back to his place. That Tiger wasn't no great, but you saw how he went after it. I mean, he was like picking balls up. And I said, look at this. He don't even know what he's doing, but it's competitiveness. See, that part you can't teach. Mm-hmm. I called MJ the first time I ever met Tiger. We were right down there, old campus was Joni's. I called him up. Because I'm sitting there, I'm listening to, it was his dad, his mom's, Tiger and Phil, and a few of us around. I'm listening to them. You know, Pops was a Green Beret, so you know how hard they had to train the Tiger like he was gonna get ready for the Green Beret. So I was listening to it. I go outside, I call MJ. I say, Black. He said, hey, boy, what's up? I said, I just saw you. He said, what? I said, I just saw you. He said, you never said anything like that before. I said, I just saw you. Take away the field of play. Take away as a court or football field or golf. Take away that. He said, who'd you see? I said, Tiger Woods. He said, I'm telling you, because it was this same mental mentality. So that's what I saw from Tiger. You know, we walk around the course and we see all this, but it was this, that mental mentality of, I'm here. And greatness has a few things with it, Fred. We always think that they so great, right? Remember the opponent. You got to do it too. So you start thinking that you have to be perfect. Mm-hmm. So you can take perfection off the table. Sunday. Exactly. So when that red shirt is around, your mind shifts. Ooh, okay, all right, all right, okay, I can't miss it, okay. The universe doesn't work like that. All the stuff that I told you about me, you have to be in line with the universe, because it's gonna give you what you wanted to give you. When I say the universe reflects back what you are. Think about this for a half a second. Within each of us, you literally have the power. You can think something is bad, but you keep telling yourself it's bad. Pretty soon you can't get out of bed. You're depressed, you can't get up and carry on your day, you can't interface, you can't. And you say, well, I don't have control. Well, you've been telling yourself that. Same person, same opportunity. But they telling themselves something completely different. They happy-go-lucky, they getting up, going about. They saw the same thing. So if that has that kind of power, what other kind of power does it have? We have no idea who we are, what we are. We don't. The woman that can pick a car up to free her child. Now, you could ask her to do that a zillion times and she could not replicate it in that moment.
Stayed that baby.
Where did it come from? I mean, the things that happen that you cannot. I asked him this, and you all remember the shot against Elo in Cleveland. You remember that.
Yes, indeed.
You know what people forget? Friday, Michael Jordan missed a couple of free throws, which he never did. Certainly never missed it in the close of a game.
Yeah.
MJ missed free throws that would have won the game. Now we back in Cleveland Sunday. We ordered a movie. Now, back then, if you order a movie, it's 1:15, and they say the movie on at 2. The movie was on at 2. At 1:15 was a blank television screen. We sitting there. He looking, not just, he is literally staring into this. It's black, it's nothing. And you know, that went on for a while. Black, you all right, man? Yeah, I'm good, Howard. I'm good, H. I said, okay. Just about a few weeks ago, I was writing this thing. I called him. I said, let me ask you something. What was in that television screen that you kept staring at before that shot? He said, man, I was visualizing the game before the game and what I would be doing. I said, you saw that, huh? He said, well, I was visualizing that. So we saw what happened. He didn't drive, tried to drive. He got the ball, boom, boom, bam. Are we more powerful than we give ourselves credit for? They say a genius uses about this much of their brain, and that's a genius. So how much else is left up there? If you can find the key to that, Lord, what can you do?
You talked about, you're speaking about the brain. A lot of it is about the heart as well, which is something you've battled with. MJ called you on three-way with Jeter to have a conversation with you because apparently you decided you weren't going to disclose that you were dealing with
those heart issues.
With heart issues. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that experience from you and what that adversity taught you.
Here's the beauty of that. When this happened, first of all, this can't happen to me. I'm in great shape. I ride my bicycle. I'm up. I'm eating. I think it's healthy. I'm drinking water. Don't stay out at night. Don't smoke. I don't drink. Me? And here we are. I'm there. They finally, my wife said, okay. We going to the hospital. I said, I think I'll be, no. Like that Monday was 4th of July. She said, to be our luck, something happened, and there ain't gonna be no doctors at the hospital. It's gonna be 4th of July. So we go, they do it. First, you know how they do it. They said, well, we're gonna just keep you overnight for observation. Okay. Well, overnight turned out to be about 10, 12 nights. And they came back with this amyloid thing. So I was good for about 3 years, so everything was good. And then it started, just wasn't. So now ask the nurse. I said, same thing I just told you. How can this happen to me? Eating right? Exercising? I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't stay out. How could this happen to me? He said, well, maybe that's the reason you're still here. I said, okay, touche. I'm with you. I'm good with that. All right. And what happens is this puts you into this place. That place is the internal dialogue that you have with yourself. That's the real killer. The internal dialogue. For me, this is great. They said, well, how can you look at it like that? I said, is it another way? So we're good. And what happens is this. I was here, walking up some steps. I was out of breath. What am I doing out of breath walking up some steps? I can go ride 100 miles. You telling me I can't walk up some steps? Then Miller, I was talking to him, who was his president at the time, Larry Miller. He's the CEO now of the board. He said, maybe it's your blood pressure medicine, H. I said, well, never thought of that. Cool. But I'd had the legs swelling and ankles swollen But those are things that, okay, you don't even think about that. Then the fatigue, and you don't want to do a whole lot. You're sitting there because breathing is hard. Again, the last thing I'm thinking, I got heart problems. Yeah, it must be something might not be right. So you keep going, and eventually it was. And you have no idea when someone said you have heart failure. Well, what does that mean? Does it mean your heart failed, you're gonna die? Does it mean your heart failed? What does that mean? Don't you need your heart to keep going? And you start thinking. So me and the doc, we became very close. Dr. Abraham, MJ Gaff. Here's the 6 rings man right here. Here's the MJ guy right here. He's a doctor, and this is what he told me. He said, first, you remind me of my dad a little bit. That's why I want to make sure. He said, but when he tell me about the Jordan and all of that, when he was in high school, he was an immigrant from India. Now, you're an immigrant from India and Tennessee. You probably gonna get teased a whole lot. He said, but I had a poster of Michael Jordan. And I told myself this, if he could get cut from his high school team and he is the greatest athlete in the world now, what can I do? He became #1 in his class. He went to college, became #1, went to Johns Hopkins. He was #1, and he got here. He followed his mentor from Johns Hopkins out here. And the same mentor that happened to be Phil Knight's cardiologist. And then here I am, his protege. I got his protege as mine. So what you find out is sometimes you can't make it up. But if you let the universe take over. So when I got in, I said, well, let the universe do it. Universe is a little smarter than me. So here are the warning signs. And for all of us, heart disease is the #1 killer, not only in our community, but around the world. Heart disease. So all I want people to do is notice the signs. If you hard time breathing, if there's swelling, if there's fatigue, pay attention. Go see the doctor. Don't just pass by, don't pass up on it, just do it. Because oftentimes this is what we think of, this is about me. No, it really isn't. This is about maybe you might have a child or a grandchild that may supposed to be the next leader of the world. You just can't put the dots together. So that's why you play it out. Now back to Fred, what's the one thing I noticed in this thing called greatness? This search, this hunt for being great. First of all, they all have the patience of Job. They all have a belief system that they are supposed to be anointed. And when you sit down and talk with them, most of the time they don't even know it. Big Mo, what? He said, hey, I ain't really as tall as they say I am. I said, well, you pretty tall, Mo. He said, yeah, they say I'm about 6', I'm probably only about 6'10". He was driven. I mean, he was driven. And back then, it's the relentlessness of those rebounds. You've seen him. He tap it to himself. He tap it again. The relentlessness of those rebounds. And the fact that big fella was so appreciative of having that opportunity. I've been around Prime. Most people think, oh, Prime, well, Prime one of the nicest guys you ever could be around.
Yep.
Now, what they think is, oh, he ain't nothing but a braggart. Oh, look at him. Well, kind of look at what he's done too. So
Some of it's just fact.
You can't write it up. You can't make it up. It's just a fact.
Yep.
Here's a guy that could shut down an entire side of a field. Well, how you do that? Humble. Now, to the outside world, he's not that. CB, Barkley, to the outside world, he's not that. You know what they all got in common? Fred? Mama. All of them have this dire need to look after mama. I don't care if it's big fella. I don't care if it's Prime and Connie. I don't care if it's true fact. CB, now CB was CB. CB, he might have a gun and, hey, boy, what you doing? Y'all,
We love Chuck.
yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, we love
He
him.
the best. Granny. Yeah, CB up here waving his gun around. Well, you know, Howard, I need a gun myself. Oh, Granny, we ain't talking about that. We talking about Charles up here with this gun. You need, okay, Howard, you tell me, I talk to him. But that's the same Granny. I go down. We go out on that lake fishing together. We go up. I mean, it's okay. Life is relationships. I just told you, Mama J. Mama J was right here. That's my girl. It had to be a time. Mama J, you know, he need to do this. He ain't trying to do, I talked to him, Howard. Okay. Great. See, I was a mama's boy. I'd do anything for her. Matter of fact, I didn't take all that money they was giving because I think mama would be disappointed if I did that. And when I got hurt, the boys in college, man, see, you would have been all right if you had taken that money. Yeah, you know, you turn that money down, you've been fine. Yeah, maybe. But that's looking at things in the moment. They say, you're young, how could you turn that money down? I don't know, because I thought something else I was supposed to be doing. Outside of money? Then the man also said that if you didn't make the pros, you could be a lifetime executive at his company. You're going to get any kind of car you want. They're going to give you money, going to put at the clothing store. They're going to give you that. Yeah, mama would be disappointed. Mama walking to a bus stop. Long ways out to that bus stop. But the last thing, because I asked, I said, Mama, I might can help you. She said, I don't need your help. How do you think you can help me all of a sudden? This ain't about me. You just do what you supposed to do. Yes, ma'am. Okay? So that's what we're concerned about. You do what you supposed to do. Yes, ma'am. So that was a time when, in the day's world, money kind of rules everything.
Yeah.
Money is the do-all, be-all, everything. If we looked at the English royalty, now I figured they ain't ever gonna need money now. Money would be the last thing issue. Isn't it funny their children go to college, they go into the service, because one day they might have to lead an empire. So we don't look at things like that. The way I see things, one day maybe you might have to lead an empire. Are you prepared? Are you ready? Could you say something to somebody and they listen? And the guys, I told Mr. Knight one day, he says, hey, I can't do what they do. He said, what? I can't do that. I said, I can't tell you they're going to look at me and do what I tell them to do, because they're not. But I guarantee you they will listen to what we talk about. And that is the key. What they choose to do, because once I do what they doing, you know what the deal is? Well, you ain't no better than us. You're gonna tell us to do something, you doing the same thing. Forget you. That's a problem that I would never have. Because if you trying to lead young people, young women, young men into their reality, then you have to have clarity, you have to believe, you have to help them often believe. See, because we think they're great, right? Y'all have been around the game. They get down just like everybody else. They often need somebody to say, yeah, you know, that ain't the way it's supposed to be.
Mr. H, this leads to Fred's last question. You know, that level of wisdom, the experiences that you've had, the things that you've been able to do. Like you said, at some point they need to believe. And I know, you always do it, Fred, but just set him up in the sense of being able to tell us what that was for him.
We always ask our guests what their biggest pivot in life is. It's the moment you can go back to and say, because this happened to me and for me, I am who I am today.
That's funny. Because I was listening to this song by George Duke, The Simple Things. See, we often think it's some humongous moment. When Mandy, my daughter, just like both of you, she's a collector, and she's been loving shoes forever. She sold the shoes to give money to the Howard H. White Center for Amyloidosis. I was like, woo, you sell it? Yeah, Dad, I want to help that. That moment, it goes way back. Even a dog could wag his tail when it passes you on the street. Something so innocuous that the average person would just pass over it. I can tell you none of this happens without that. Like Larry Miller, he said, I ain't trying to walk across campus with H. I'm not trying to do that. Because he's going to stop and talk to everybody. I'm trying to get somewhere. He's stopping, carrying on conversation, got to talk to everybody. And that's it, isn't it?
People.
It's the people.
Yeah.
When I go down here to eat, I sit at the counter where all the workers at. So I can carry on a conversation with them, make them feel good. One woman down there, Anna, she came up, she said, you're different. I said, what are you talking about I'm different? She said, you see us. Other people pass and they don't even speak to us. You see us. So I'm not gonna ever say I'm special. I'm not gonna ever say I've done amazing things in life. I'm not gonna ever say, wow, this has been beautiful. I'm gonna simply say, I just hope someone says, that old H. White, pretty nice guy, isn't he? And when I've seen where that book has gone across the ocean and people have come up and said, it changed my life.
Because you was rude to Mr. Lee.
You got it. You have got
Throwing
it.
that to zero on the stop
You
sign.
have got it. You have got it. I'm rude to Mr. Lee. Changed my entire outlook on the world.
You have touched many and changed their outlooks too. Charles Barkley said the best thing Nike ever gave him wasn't the shoes or the money. It was Howard H. White.
CB.
Yeah.
Again, it's just, they're people. And people, see, the young fellas won't know, people who like people, things fall into place. And the question is always this: if in fact you could sit down with anyone in history, whether it's Christ, whether it's Dr. King, whether it's anybody in history, who would you choose? Next person that sit beside. See, I can read books about all them other people. The next person that sit beside may give me something that changes the course of my life.
Wow.
Well, I would say this. In this conversation, you have changed my outlook, my mindset on many things. When we got the opportunity, one, I was like, well, listen, this is the Godfather Jordan brand. I'm there. I was like, I saw Chris Tucker in the movie, but the more we prepared for it, the more I understood that your life wasn't just about shoes and sneakers. It's been about impact. And I believe that this conversation will impact so many. So thank you so much for your time and for this opportunity.
Man, I cannot tell you how amazingly fortunate to be able to sit down with you all and just chop it up. I mean, you all's experiences, think of this, you all are great football players. I guarantee you this, what you all have done with all of these different people It ain't about a pass coming down there. It ain't about running the court. It ain't about, did I miss this block? It's not. All of a sudden, it's expanded. It's expanded to, we touch people's lives. This brand, in this day now where a lot of people think, oh man, it's about selling this, well, when we started it, my simple philosophy was one thing. Had nothing to do with selling another shoe. My daughter, Mandy, she's about 2, 3 years old. MJ was in the hole, he sleep. We out there, boom, boom, boom. I'm going back to his room and shh, Dad. Uncle MJ sleep, don't wake him up. Now, he's a little kid, what you know about MJ being, really? Shh, don't wake him up. My mother, I want to go see Michael Jordan. Mama, you can't walk up them stairs. I think I'll be all right. So this was about the ability to touch people's lives. That doctor, I believe now. He carried it so far as the doctor had to do a little surgery on. He said, well, let's get this straight. I'm Michael Jordan, he's Scottie Pippen. Let's get this straight now. And there's this in the hospital. He said, no, stop saying that. He said, I'm just telling the truth.
I'm the
Michael
MJ.
Jordan, yes.
Hey, I thank you so much, man. The stories, those stories last forever, man. But you have lived the life, and thank you for sharing it with us. My man.
Sir.
Much appreciated.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.